Okay, we've got a new phone position. Don't know if this works. Maybe, we'll see. Give it a go tonight. So, as you know, on Sundays I do a Q&A. And tonight's question was brought to you by my fabulous daughter. She asked me how on earth I come up with all of these topics. And the reality is I don't. So when I first decided to do these 365 days, I sat down at my trusty laptop over there and I literally had a bit of a Google about Facebook Lives and topics and things. And then I created a spreadsheet with 365 days. And I went, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. And it involved topics I'm passionate about. It involved ideas. It involved what I'd do with clients or possible clients. It involved things like Valentine's Day, Christmas, New Year's Eve. So anything kind of in the diary that I could kind of go, oh, well, you know, on the 31st of December, it's probably good to talk about New Year's Eve, New Year's resolutions, that kind of thing. And I thought, that's it. I've got my 365 days. Then I kind of didn't stick to that. So of the day 156, I think I just typed in, I've probably only stuck to 10, maybe 20, maybe more of that actual plan. I should actually go through and have a look and see how many I have stuck to. Because sometimes things just happen. And occasionally I do a rant if I see on social or in a situation something's been going on. I'm like, oh, no, I want to talk about that. I want to get that off my chest. Sometimes it's been an issue that has come up for me that I really need to work on. And I figure if I have an issue, and I'm not saying everyone's like me at all, but I figure if I've got an issue and I'm having to do some work on it and work through some shit and figure stuff out, chances are there may be one person that needs to hear what I have to say on that topic, and what I'm going through could help them. And so I'm going to talk about it. Sometimes something's happened in real life, like the news or something I've seen on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I want to explore that more. So I'll talk about that. Sometimes I've been asked a question, as you know. Sometimes something's come up with one of my clients that I think I need to talk about more, or something's come up. Oh, they come up everywhere. And what's fascinating is I can be somewhere and just go, oh, I want to talk about that. I think that's important. I want to talk about that. And what's been interesting for me over the last couple of days, as you know, I was at this content creation boot camp and I've literally nutted out 52 weeks of content. So blog posts, things like that, stuff I'm going to work on that are bigger items than these lives are. And I have broken those down into 12 months of a theme. So each month next year will kind of have a theme. And my lives may or may not kind of fit in with those themes at some point. But everything else I'm doing in my business will fit in with those themes. And it's kind of great to know that I have that set in concrete-ish, you know. I don't think anything will ever be set in concrete with me. I think I'll always have a bit of I might do this now. But it's also kind of a bit weird because I like this. Most of the time I like this, I want to talk about this thing. And sometimes I'll give you a series of questions. Sometimes I will give you exercises. Sometimes it's a strategy. Sometimes it's tips. And sometimes it's just me talking. But I think you can tell when I'm sitting there and I've got okay, I want to take you through these steps or this process. But I think if I did that every day, it would be boring. I don't think that would be, ideal for anybody really, myself or those of you that do choose to watch these lives. So as you know, Sunday nights is Q&A. And that was today's question. How do I come up with these topics? Sometimes it's random, sometimes it's strategic. And I got to say, that's pretty much my life. Sometimes my life is very random and sometimes my life is very, very strategic. And I think that's a good way to live. I think if we put too many cages around ourselves in terms of what we can or can't do, or in terms of anything really, in terms of business, friendships, sexuality, clothes you wear, personality, things you like, things you love, things you hate. I think if we put ourselves in cages with any of that stuff, I think it's a recipe for misery. So I'm going to stay, sometimes sticking to the plan, and sometimes I'm going to be random. And I hope that's okay with you guys. So please send me a question for next week. I'd love to. We've had a couple of double ups, which I haven't done. I'll probably revisit a couple of questions that I've had. But yeah, I'd love to help you guys. If you have anything you want to ask, please let me know. And another thing, I'm going to get better. Yes, I'm going to get better at sending my newsletter out. And I've got some exciting things happening between now and Christmas before Elodie and I go away. So if you head on over to samanthaleith.com, you can sign up for my newsletter and get a weekly dose of sparkle in your inbox. I'd love to see you there. Happy Sunday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.